CTV News with Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with some developing news. After 2 years of continuous bargaining, Canada Post has reached a contract agreement in principle with thousands of its unionized workers. The National Mail Carrier and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers both confirming tonight that the outlines for the deal are in place, though collective agreements have yet to be finalized. As those details are being hammered out, Canada Post says all strike and lockout activity will be suspended. But the Postal Union in its own statement said, quote, "The union will retain the right to strike until new agreements are ratified." A large house fire broke out in South London this afternoon, damaging 2 homes. The flames were fast-moving, requiring a substantial emergency response. With more from the scene, here's Sean Irvin.
Smoke pours from a window of a double-car garage on Thistle Ridge Crescent. The blaze at this large home began around 12:30 p.m. Neighbors heard multiple explosions before fire trucks arrived.
I heard a pop, didn't think much of it, and then heard 2 or 3 more pops and came outside, and there was smoke coming from the garage down here, and then it turned it into a big wall of flames.
That wall of flames quickly spread to the home next door. Firefighters faced a significant challenge as 2 vehicles burnt.
To knock down the exposure house to keep the damages to a minimum, and then get secondary lines in place and start knocking down the body of the fire on the main house.
Just as firefighters began to get the blaze under control, a portion of the garage collapsed. Up to 30 firefighters were on scene. There were no injuries to crews, and all residents in both homes escaped the flames. As firefighters cooled hotspots, officials stated their fight to save the badly destroyed home was hampered.
Especially with a metal roof, we've got to get up into that roof and peak area and take that off so that we can get out of the fire that's in the attic area.
An official cause will take time, but the initial investigation points to the garage area. The origin of the pops heard by neighbors is likely one of 2 things.
So the explosions could possibly have been either the tires that heated up and then let loose, or a possibility of there being some type of batteries that could have been inside the garage area at that time.
It was not immediately clear if either of the vehicles destroyed were electric, hybrid, or gas-powered. Early damage is set at $800,000 for 973 Thistle Ridge, $100,000 for the home next door. In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Strathroy Caradoc police say the fire that destroyed a building near downtown was set intentionally. Last week, fire crews were called to the former Scoops Variety on Caradoc Street near Maitland Terrace. They said the fire started in the early morning hours and they were able to control the spread quickly. No injuries were reported, and police are asking for any information that may help them identify a suspect. American law enforcement officials say Canadian authorities arrested a multiple murder suspect at the Blue Water Bridge this week. According to the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office in Michigan, 24-year-old Maxwell Anatra tried to enter Canada Wednesday afternoon. According to the Crawford County Sheriff's Department in Ohio, police had conducted a welfare check at a home earlier that morning. Police say officers found the bodies of the suspect's parents. Anatra has been charged with 1 count of murder so far, with additional charges possible. A search and rescue operation today in the Dalewood Conservation Area looking for a missing man. St. Thomas police say the man was last seen Tuesday near Dalewood Road. They were assisted by several London search and rescue organization volunteers. Forensic team members used a drone to survey the area as well. A senior officer at the scene says despite the increased police presence, this is considered a missing person investigation, not criminal. According to police, the missing man appeared to be wearing a leather coat and a fur-lined hat with a brim. A sentencing hearing today for a man who was running an illicit magic mushroom shop in London. He had applied for a constitutional challenge. Siluambin provides many benefits for users. That failed, though, and as Nick Paparella reports, he now faces a fine for his actions.
In June of 2023, London police raided the Fun Guys location on Richmond Street near Horton. At the time, 33-year-old Samar Akila was charged and later pled not guilty to possession for the purpose of trafficking psilocybin, also known as magic mushrooms. After he was arrested, Akila brought forward a constitutional challenge, arguing that the laws that ban the use of psilocybin violate the freedom of thought. Earlier this year, the challenge was shot down, and Akila was found guilty. What makes this case even more unique, in February, Akila told the court he left the country to go to Egypt to visit a sick relative and hasn't come back to London, making his court appearances via Zoom. Appearing the same way for his sentencing hearing, his lawyer, Paul Lewin, argued that his client wanted people to benefit from the use of magic mushrooms, saying he did it because he believes in these issues. Federal Crown Vincent Mazza argued that the accused has shown no remorse, adding Mr. Akila knew what he was doing was illegal. He thought he was doing a good thing because he was doing it through a fancy storefront. He went on, he knew he was breaking the law. He continued to do it. He didn't care. The Crown is asking that Akila receive a $20,000 fine, while the defense is asking for a $1,000 penalty. Justice George Orsini will hand down his decision on the case on December 16th. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Provincial police in southwestern Ontario say impaired driving charges and deaths are up this year compared to last. They're sharing that message as their annual Festive RIDE campaigns gets underway. With more, here's Brian Bicknell.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Go ahead and raise a cheer, but remember, these folks will be near.
So they will be out there in force, ensuring that people are getting where they're going safely.
Police services across the region, including both the OPP and London Police, have launched their Festive RIDE programs. In OPP West Region, all 13 detachments are taking part. Media representative Derek Rogers says drivers can expect a heightened OPP presence on roads and highways as officers conduct ride checks 24/7.
If you're impaired by either alcohol or drugs, you're a danger to yourself and you're a danger to those that share the road with you. Brings into place some calling, making some plans in advance. So get that rideshare service, get that taxi, get that designated driver, and get home safely.
Despite ride checks and other education campaigns, not to mention potentially devastating consequences, impaired driving continues to be on the rise. Within OPP coverage areas of West Region, so far in 2025, 12 people have died from impaired driving collisions, compared to 11 deaths over the same period in 2024. So far, OPP officers have laid 2,461 impaired charges compared to 2,313 at this time last year, an increase of more than 6%. Mad Canada's Project Red Ribbon coincides with Festive RIDE. It symbolizes commitment to sober driving. Local MAD spokesperson Katrina Alot says easier access to legal drugs and alcohol could be a factor in impaired driving stats.
Just with the increase and the ability to get alcohol and other substances easier now, I know that with the rise of gas stations being able to carry alcohol and dispensaries all over the city, just easier access means more.
Project Red Ribbon runs until January 5th, Festive RIDE until January 1st.
Oh, by golly.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A day after the Budget Committee finished deliberations at City Hall, a letter from the Salvation Army Centre of Hope is asking councillors to reconsider a funding boost for London's rent bank. With more on that request, here's Daryl Newcomb.
Whenever it's an 8-7 vote, I do think that there's still an appetite for councillors to reconsider.
Councillor Hadley McAllister believes a letter from the Salvation Army might breathe new life into an unsuccessful budget amendment that would have added $250,000 to London's rent bank in 2026 and 27.
This is a very proactive program that will help people stay housed, and I think we absolutely need to consider it because we don't have a lot of tools in our toolbox to keep people housed.
The rent bank is an income-based program that offers financial support to Londoners struggling to pay their rent or utilities. It has about $1.2 million to distribute each year. According to the letter sent to Council, applications to the rent bank are accepted each month until that month's allocation of funding runs out. Then the rent bank has to close until the following month. Already this year, the rent bank's been closed 14 weeks. Meanwhile, demand is escalating with 1,668 applications in the first 7 months of this year.
I could appeal to people's sense of compassion.
On Thursday, the Budget Committee voted against 2 separate motions that would have provided additional funds.
What we have to do is have a program in place of a certain level to do something, but we also need to advocate on the root causes of the need for the program.
Advocacy does not keep people in their units. And I don't hear anybody saying that there's no need for this.
But it's done through the Salvation Army. And they didn't come asking us again to expand the budget.
The letter subsequently sent to Council makes this plea about the additional $250,000. Quote, "We would be glad to accept this amount or any greater amount if it meets your approval." McAllister's motion would have sourced one-time dollars from a reserve account for Council-led initiatives and not impacted the tax rate.
If someone's going to use the Community Investment Reserve Fund as a source, that can happen at any time during the year. It doesn't have to happen at the budget process.
We have the opportunity to do this now, especially as we're getting to the tail end of 2025. I think going into 26, it would be good to have this money ready for the program.
McAllister intends to reintroduce his motion at City Council's budget meeting on November 26th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
The Toy Mountain campaign supporting the Salvation Army is back for its 30th year. Businesses, schools, organizations, and community groups are invited to collect and donate toys for local families. Organizers say more Canadians are struggling with the increasing cost of living, and they hope these donations will bring some joy for local kids this holiday season.
We've been giving toys to over 4,500 children this year, and without the support of the community, we just wouldn't be able to do that.
Guests are asked to donate new or unwrapped toys to our Toy Mountain bin, which is located by Santa's Cabin, and there are some great locations to go to. We have Sport Check, Shoppers Drug Mart, as well as Marshall's, Miniso, and Showcase.
A Christmas classic is getting a bit of a twist at the Blythe Festival next month. Scott Miller has more on Charles Dickens reimagined as a Huron County Christmas carol.
He's the prettiest girl this side of Holmesville. Cast and crew are putting the finishing touches on a Huron County Christmas carol, a local twist on the Dickens classic.
We find ourselves every day in the rehearsal hall laughing and cheering and our eyes welling up because it's, this beautiful, sad, funny story that is the Christmas Carol.
The community should have been our business, Ebenezer. The community! Along with 2019 and 2023, this is the third staging of a Huron County Christmas Carol in Blythe. Garrett says half the cast is new from 2023, and some uniquely local actors are joining the cast, including Bronte Hunter from Bruce County, making her Blythe Festival debut.
This is a place that I've always wanted to work. It's the place where I saw professional theater for the first time.
The theme of the play, which is Ebenezer Scrooge buying up all the feed mills from Windsor to Tobermory to put farmers under his thumb, hits close to home for Hunter, whose family still farms near Kincardine.
My parents and my entire family were very involved in the Line in the Dirt movement, protesting against the rise of corporate farming and the loss of the family farm. And so when I was reading the play for the first time and seeing the design sketches for the first time, I was completely overcome with excitement and gratitude that Blythe is being so honest about the way that corporate farming has affected people here in Huron County and in Bruce County, where I'm from.
Garrett says their take on A Christmas Carol puts a bow on one of the Blythe Festival's most successful seasons in years.
It was an incredible season for us. I mean, we had almost 30,000 people through the theater this summer, which was just so thrilling. And to be able to have the season carry on.
Hunter, whose family only lives 40 minutes from Blythe, are already asking for tickets.
It's the first time that I've been back close enough for my family to come see me work. So, yeah, it's really exciting.
A Huron County Christmas Carol opens December 3rd and runs until December 21st. In Blythe, Scott Miller, CTV News.
The Knights faced off against the Sudbury Wolves tonight.
As it was intercepted by the Knights, and they go back the other way, and they score a shorthanded goal to make it 4-3.
The Knights were down 4-2 in the third before Sam O'Reilly got hold of the puck and buried one shorthanded. This would make it a one-goal game, but not for long. The Wolves went on to score 2 more. Knights lose 6-3 the final. The Knights finish off their Northern Ontario swing tomorrow in the Sioux against the Greyhounds. Coming up, a special surprise, how a father and son are spreading joy this holiday season. Canada's main stock index closed the week higher on broad-based gains. The TSX rose more than 250 points. In New York, the Dow was up almost 500. The Nasdaq gained close to 200. The Canadian dollar was off 1/10 of a cent. On commodity, gold jumped $19.50 an ounce. Oil was down 94 cents a barrel. There is outrage tonight over the transfer of Ontario serial killer Dylan Millard from a maximum security prison to a medium security one. CTV's John Venevali-Rao explains.
Dylan Millard is one of the country's most notorious killers who murdered not only his girlfriend, Laura Babcock, but also his own father and Tim Bosma, a complete stranger who was selling a pickup truck. After first being convicted almost a decade ago, Millard's been kept in a maximum security jail. But now Bosma's family say they've been notified he's been moved to medium security. In a statement, the family wrote, "We are disgusted by the news," calling Millard a psychopath monster, and writing Corrections Canada disregarded the feedback provided by our families in response to the possibility of such a move. They went on to say it's an abhorrent transgression, offending all manner of common sense.
Medium security does mean you have greater ability to interact with other prisoners, you have greater ability to engage in correctional programs, but it's no cakewalk, right? It's not like going to day camp.
Experts say it is understandable that the families of the victims would be upset, but say an eventual move to a medium security is typical in a system designed with the idea that inmates may eventually be released. There was national outrage 2 years ago over a similar transfer involving serial killer Paul Bernardo. In a statement, the Correctional Service wrote, "We engage with victims at various points of an offender's sentence and provide them with opportunities to voice their concerns, which are considered. Adding in all our decisions, public safety remains our paramount consideration." Experts say whether a prisoner remains in maximum or medium security is largely dictated by the risk they pose to other inmates and the public, and not the crimes they committed.
They're still locked up and safe from the community and not likely to escape.
As for Millard, corrections officials say he will be eligible to apply for day parole in 2036 and full parole in 2039. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. A few clouds as we head into the night. We had a beautiful day today in terms of our temperatures. We hit double digits. Now, heading into Saturday, our temperatures are going to drop. We had a low pressure system push off to the east and the air in behind it cooling us down. We are tracking a couple of weather makers that could bring a little bit more cloud cover than we'd like for the weekend. I'll break down the next 24 hours for you and tell you the next chance for some flurries is coming up after the break.
'Tis the season for helping others, and the Business Cares Food Drive is how we can all help Londoners in need. On November 29th and 30th, over 40 participating grocery stores and hundreds of volunteers will be collecting food and donations. Over 40% of people who use the London Food Bank are children, so your support is needed now more than ever. Let's ensure everyone has a happy holiday.
The Princess Margaret Lotto's early bird prize deadline is midnight tonight. This is the last chance to be entered into the draw to win the $3 million early bird prize package, a Muskoka lakefront cottage, and $50,000. There are over 13,000 prizes that will be awarded, valued at over $10.9 million, including the grand prize. Don't forget, it's a $7 million grand prize, an Oakville show home, plus $500,000 in cash, awarded fully furnished and professionally designed. Other exciting prizes include a lineup of luxury vehicles, worldwide vacations, and so much more. Don't forget to add the 50-50 jackpot. Carry the fire for a world free from the fear of cancer. Buy online before midnight tonight at princessmargaretlotto.com.
Here's Rita Ismail now with your full weather forecast. Rita?
Lauren, it was nice and mild today, 10 degrees, sitting well above what's normal this time of year. And overnight, it was warm as well. We didn't drop below 7 degrees. Normal this time of year is -2. Didn't quite reach the record, though. That was 17 degrees in 1953. As we head into the night, a few clouds. We do have that low pressure system off to the east now, and the air in behind it will cool us down. We'll drop below the freezing mark tonight. We are tracking this weather maker to the south. Now, as it lifts, it will bring some cloud cover, but not a lot in the way of moisture. And then we're sort of sandwiched between that and this activity here for your Saturday. And here's what that means. For parts of the region, we could see some spotty showers overnight tonight into tomorrow, but we are expecting to stay fairly dry. Lots of sunshine for your Saturday morning, and then you could see a bit more cloud cover as that system crosses over. The chance of rainfall returns for Grey and Bruce County early Sunday morning, and then widespread cloud cover overnight. It will clear out nicely into some sunshine. There is a chance for some lake effect showers for parts of Huron County as well Sunday, but we should be in the clear by about 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon, and the temperature will be near seasonal this weekend. Thank you, Gail, for sharing this beautiful weather backdrop with us. Let's plan out your Saturday. So if you're up early tomorrow for a walk, it'll feel like -5 early first thing tomorrow morning. 4 degrees by noon, sun cloud mix, and then a seasonal daytime high forecast of 6 degrees. Heading into Sunday, nice mix of sun and cloud, pretty much the same for your Sunday here in London. And then warming up to 8 degrees on Monday and 9 degrees on Tuesday ahead of another low pressure system that will move through. That one will bring light rainfall and a big temperature drop. As it exits on Wednesday, you could see we go from 9, 5, and then the freezing mark on Thursday, holding on to that cold weather as we head into next weekend. Midwestern Ontario, 5 degrees, a bit more cloud cover for you tomorrow. Slight chance for some overnight passing showers tonight, and a slight chance for some morning flurries on Sunday. As those winds shift on Sunday morning, you could wake up to a dusting of snow. Otherwise, we're in the clear in terms of snow or flurries for the next couple of days. We do have rainfall. As I mentioned, a system pushes through on Tuesday. It will bump up our temperatures to 9 degrees. All-day rain event on Tuesday, continuing into Wednesday. And then you could see we drop down significantly to the freezing mark as the daytime high. Back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Rita. Ontario's education minister faces criticism for withholding EQAO test results. Provincial government officials say they want to carry out a deep dive on the numbers, but as Siobhan Morris reports, that shouldn't prevent those numbers from being released.
How many people had it in both?
It's the education system's annual report card. How well are kids grasping math, reading, and writing?
Soon we'll be releasing the EQAO results, so there's a lot more that has to happen in education to put it all back on the right path.
But the Education Quality and Accountability Office report is usually out earlier in the fall. The Minister of Education says he's been holding it back to do a deep dive and act on what he's seeing.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The minister could release the information and then still analyze it.
The Liberals say the system should be able to walk and chew gum.
I think he's hiding the results because the government's record in education isn't great.
Last year's EQAO results showed fewer students in grades 3 and 6 meeting literacy standards. Math scores were steady or slightly improving, but still low.
It's actually most importantly for kids, their educators, and their families, so they can get the help that they need, if they need it, to learn.
The opposition calls this holdback part of a government pattern.
They do not think they need to be transparent with parents or with educators. They don't think they need to be accountable to us. and information sharing is something that is optional.
The Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario describes EQAO results as just a snapshot of one day.
Wanting to take a deep dive or really understand what's happening with a one-time assessment tool is concerning.
Bell believes the minister's time would be better spent taking a whole-of-child approach.
It means smaller classes. It means investing in having more professionals in our classroom so that we have the proper mental health support, so we have the proper professionals besides our educators in the building to help students be successful.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Finally, tonight, a father and his 9-year-old son from Prince Edward Island are stopping strangers in the middle of their day for a special surprise. CTV's Maria Saru has more.
Some holiday shoppers in Charlottetown left with more than they came for, an unexpected gift just for them. The presents are random acts of kindness by father and son duo Emil and John Goody.
I just want the world to be happier.
More than 400 of these moments later, they're not so random anymore. Emil started the Give Bliss movement to turn his pain into his purpose.
I had zero self-belief or self-esteem that I could accomplish anything. And once I figured out how big of a lie that was, it kind of became my mission to encourage others to go for what they wanted.
Now he's passing that mission on, helping John build his confidence one person at a time.
I've gotten way more better at speaking to strangers than I was in the past.
You might be wondering what's inside these gifts. Well, every single one comes with something sweet, maybe candy or chocolate, and a handwritten note filled with words of encouragement.
The pair posts the encounters on social media and the reactions run the gamut, from pure delight
Thank you so much
to total shock.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Michael Baglol was walking home from work when Emil and John approached him.
It's that moment that someone recognizes you or just wants to talk to you for a minute. And they did pick a day where I was kind of, I was a little, I really could use it that day.
It got a lot of attention online, but the real measure, they say, is the impact. Emil and John have also made stops in Toronto and Montreal. Their dream is to take the movement across the country. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a good night.